My name is Graham McCauley and I am the Director of Technology for Learning at the Leo Academy Trust. For this video, I'm going to give you an overview of Adobe Spark. This is a free resource that all LJFL schools and lots of other schools across the country have got access to. And hopefully this will provide you with enough information to then be able to go and play with it and to explore the tool further. First things first, how to get onto Adobe Spark. So the quickest way I feel is to go to spark.adobe.com in your web browser. It's probably a good place to say that Adobe Spark is platform agnostic. So if I'm on a Chromebook at the moment, if you're on a Windows computer, a MacBook, an iPad, it will work on all of those devices. In addition, it's fair to say that there are also apps available on iOS and on the Play Store. So if you wanted to install them onto devices, you could also do that. I tend to just use the web interface because you've always got the latest version then, and it kind of works for what I want to do. But the apps are also available. So having gone on to spark.adobe.com, or you could have just Googled Adobe Spark, I'm just going to go to the right-hand side and press sign in. If you're a student or staff within Leo, you can just sign in with a single sign-on with Google, so you can just press continue with Google. If you're not a Leo staff or pupil, you may need to have got Adobe Spark turned on. So that's something to ask your IT support or your SLT. If you're on LJFL school, it's free, so it's just a case of flicking the switch, really. And then you'll be able to sign in. If you don't have a platform such as Google or Microsoft, you can just sign in with your email address. So you don't have to have an Office 365 or a Google kind of account, but for us, we just use that because it's just easy. It's just a one sign-on and straight through, and all the passwords are synced, etc. So I'm just going to press continue with Google. It'll come up with the standard Google login screen, so I'm just going to click on my name because I'm already signed in. And this will go straight through to Adobe Spark. So Adobe Spark is cloud-based. What does that mean? Well, it means all of your work or all of your documents are saved in the cloud. So if I go on another device and just sign in into the browser, it will be there. So that's quite useful in schools where every child, it doesn't sit in front of a device all the time, but if they pick up another iPad, they can just go and log in and they can carry on. So there's none of this. You must always have iPad 17 and that's your iPad whenever we use them. It's all just saved up there in the ether somewhere. So this is the kind of home screen for Adobe Spark. When you log in for the first time, it will offer you to do a tutorial. You may want to watch that. You may not want to watch that. And hopefully this video will sort of do the same as what that tutorial would have done. But if you want to go back, and watch this video again, please feel free, or the tutorial will come up. When it does come up, there's a button that says "Don't show me this again." So if you've seen it and think this is getting really annoying, just press that button, and then you won't get that every time you log in. So here you can see some of the things I've been working on previously, just some examples I've used to demo this tool. If it's your first time, obviously you won't have any. If it's your 100th time, you'll probably have quite a few of these. So if you are returning to a project you've worked on before, you can just click on View All Projects. And here are the projects there, and that's fine. But I'm going to kind of go through the starter for it. I think it's fair to say there's always many ways to do the same thing in Spark. So I'm just going to show you the ways that I tend to do it. It might be that actually you think, oh, there's a different way of doing that. And that's definitely the case. And it's not necessarily that the way I show you is the only way or the best way. It's just the way I tend to do it. So you can just choose these buttons and it will go straight through to starting a new project. So a collage, fairly straightforward what that is. So, effectively a graphic combining images. A web page is a web page. A slideshow helps you to make a video type slideshow. Presentation on a web page, an Instagram post. So I know there are some schools that are starting to go towards that Instagram social media approach. You can create one of them on here. If you wanted to do a portfolio video where you're showcasing lots of different bits. If you want to do a branded logo, I'll come on to that later because that's really good for sort of if you do like Fiverr Challenge or Year 6 projects where they run their own business, they can make some really good graphics that actually look really authentic. Or if you're doing a custom size graphic, so if you really want to do a bit of artwork for a sign outside your school or something like that, and it's got to be a certain size, that's kind of how you could do that. But there are kind of three things I'm trying to focus on this video. And the way I tend to do is always go to create a project. So we're going to go through Flyer, which helps you to create a kind of a graphic of some description, a web page, and a video. And I think if we cover those three, generally that gives you the core part of Adobe Spark. Oh, internet's just turned off. Sorry, I don't know why it's just refreshed. You can create a flyer, you can create a web page, and create a video. And obviously, I'll give you some examples of what you could do with this. But use your creativity. This is one of those tools that it's just really good for sort of generic teaching and learning. It's not a computing tool in terms of the national curriculum. It's a resource that you could use for a number of things. And during lockdown, we've really seen creativity from our children that perhaps have gone, actually, I'm not going to do that as a Word document or a Google document, but I'm actually going to go and make a persuasive video with a voiceover type thing instead of typing it out. So lots and lots of options here. I'm going to go straight into flyer. I think it's fair to say flyer is a bit misleading. So it doesn't have to be a flyer. What it really I think it should say is graphics. So anything kind of graphical that you might want to print, you can create here. So I'm a big believer in that actually sort of, things take time to make. So when you're starting using Adobe Spark for yourself and indeed with children, it's probably worth just starting with a template because I think that kind of builds confidence really easy. So maybe just do an example, perhaps we'll do a birthday invite. So I'm just going to search for invite. And these are all templates that are already created for free in Adobe Spark. And these always change over time. So as I'm scrolling down, there's loads here. So here's one for a Ramadan dinner. So this isn't just have to be a birthday party. We can be varied in how we use this. Barbecue party, I'm a bit of a fan of our barbecue, so that floats my boat. There's everything here. There's say a birthday party, wedding invites there, birthday parties again, housewarming type party. So to do that, I just search for a template at the top. Equally, let's do I don't know, maybe there's some sort of congratulations cards, kind of what I was thinking, or I don't know, birthday cards. Maybe you wanted to do, I don't know, a leaflet. Okay, so there's one there. Let's just go into that. Oh, helps if I press the right button. There you go. I don't know what else you might want to do. Something food-based, a restaurant menu or something like that, or a restaurant flyer. They're all there. But let's go back to doing an invite. Let's go for this barbecue one. So I go, yeah, okay, that's a good start. I can work with that. So I'm just going to press create, and this will just pull in my template for me. Here we go. I've chosen this, my invite, so I can get rid of that now. So maybe I don't want an RSVP to Tom, so I'm just going to double click on that, and I can change my name there. And that looks like a American phone number. So let's say, I don't know, put in your email address there. And then, that's in a really simple sense, that's like the simplest bit. It's just take a template and change the wording. You'll notice when I move stuff, it aligns it. So that dotted line that you can see that's appeared shows me in the middle of the page. But what I can also do is it's now shifted here. So that means all of these, all of this writing on the right-hand side is all aligned. It's quite long here, so there's not much else I can align it to. It might be actually you think that's too wide. You could rotate it. None of that really helps really, but you could just make it smaller like that. There you go, and you can just drag it to whatever shape you like. It might be that doesn't really work, but you kind of get the gist. So that's that. So you just double click on it to change the writing. I'm going to go back to that. Maybe make that in the middle somewhere. You can also do some other things. So if you want to change the font, just on the right hand side, you just change the font there. There you go. You can left align it, center align it to the box. You can capitalize it, or okay. Once you press capitalize and fit, you can't go back from that button, but you can just go edit undo at the top. So let's see if maybe you can't. Apologies. There you go. Okay, so capitalize and fit. I've used that tool before. Fills it to the size of the text box, but if you just go back to an align, or turn it off. Change the size. You can just drag it up, which is quite nice. You don't have to try and guess a number. You can just sort of think, right, okay. That's probably about as big as I can get. But if I want to just make it a bit smaller, just maybe quite a lot smaller, just drag it there. Again, line spacing is exactly what it says on the tin, the space between the lines. Letter spacing, exactly what it says there. So maybe, you know, you're doing something for children here and you want to leave spaces between letters to indicate finger spaces or something like that. You can do that if you need to. How opaque it is. So, you know, you might want it to be sort of, I don't know, slightly like mysterious, not like a mystery kind of story type thing. So that's how that kind of works. If you want to change the color, really simple, you just click on color. If you want to pull it into a shape, so this is really good if you're doing a logo, because straight away you can make a logo look really good just by pressing a template, and it makes kind of, you know, that could be a logo to a company. And then if you decide actually you don't want that background, you can just press no, and it gets rid of that. If you want any sort of effects, so like a shadow or an outline, or oh, sorry, I don't know why this keeps happening. How bizarre. Apologies. I guess this is one of the unintentional perks of Spark as well, that it saves everything instantly. So if that does happen, if you lose your internet connection, it just comes back. So I was just taking that off, wasn't I? So let's get rid of that. I don't think I necessarily need that. So just click on it, and then I can change the effects. So maybe I can have an outline. This is now starting to look a bit hideous, isn't it? But give you the idea. These are just suggestions. You can just scroll through. So if that's your Twitter handle, then ready to go, etc. I tend not to use that bit, to be totally honest with you, but you know, it's just there. It is there if you want to use it. Again, you can change the type. So that's how you kind of change text. You can also move around images. So, for example, you might be like, that's meant to obviously be a kebab. You might go, no, don't like that. So I can just click on that and I can just press delete, or I can duplicate it. So maybe, I don't know, you might want one of these in each corner. I'm just going to rotate it, put it up there. That's too big. I don't know, you might want something like that. Okay, so if you just wanted to duplicate them, or you can just click on that and go, don't really like that. I'm going to move this to the middle. I'll try to move it to the left. So, you know, there's one in each corner. That's fine. You can do that. Again, you can resize these to make them whatever size you like. So you make them a bit bigger, a bit smaller. And this is all great, but actually sometimes you want to add your own stuff. And that's really simple. You just press add, and then you can add text, a photo, an icon, or a logo. So text is obviously fairly logical. Comes up with some templates there again, but you don't have to. You can just choose add your text. I'll just put this is my new text. And then it puts it there, and then I can go and do all the bits I showed you earlier about colors, text, type, effects, style, borders, etc. Or just press delete if you actually think, nah, that's not really what I want. Some of these icons are really useful. So these are icons that you can see. These are just generic royalty-free images, because I think sometimes children spend ages going on I don't know, Google to find the right picture, and it's actually just take one from the Adobe Spark library, and actually you can suddenly do that fairly quickly. Now, to me, this is dying out. This should be in white because everything else is in white. So let's just change that to white. So that was just add icon. No, you can also search. So I don't know. Let's just say, let's just search for religion, and then it might be. I don't know, that's the first one I just saw. Change the color to white because obviously it's going to be consistent, and that could just go up there. Maybe, I don't know, some sort of religious themed barbecue or something. Okay, so that's how you put a logo in. I should probably, I don't think I said at the start, this is obviously just on YouTube, so please feel free to go back and rewatch bits if you're thinking, actually, I can't keep on top of this. You know, I think I do these videos more with a kind of, they're a reference material rather than watch it once and learn everything about Adobe Spark. They're just there to kind of help you. So that's how sort of Adobe Spark works. Again, you can add in a photo. This is quite a cool one. So if you go add photo and then just find free photos. So if you're searching for, I don't know, World War II. Okay, that's got nothing absolutely to do with World War II that I was expecting. Let's try WW2. This is more like it. You can just put in a picture. Here we go. and then there's your picture. So you don't have to start to go to Google Images or draw a picture or find a picture and then save it and upload it. Often there's really good ones. They're not always necessarily exactly what you want, but often for a 5-second job, there's a pretty good photo that can do the trick for what you want, really. So this is my project. It's obviously been saving as I've gone through. There's an undo button here. I can give it a title here. So if I'm going to say Adobe Spark Demo, just press enter, and that'll save that. So that's in my project. So if I then go on my phone or onto an iPad or a Chromebook or whatever, I can just carry on. So this is my barbecue poster done, or my barbecue flyer done. And so there's a few things I can do with it now. First thing I can do is I can add a collaborator, and this is really cool. So it means that I'm giving someone else the ability to edit my work. So it's not a case of I have to share it and then give them a JPEG and then give feedback. I can just say, actually, I'm just going to give it to Rachel. And she will get an email to say that I've given her access to this. I'm just going to just say that so she doesn't know why we sent me an Adobe Spark. So now she's a collaborator on my work, so she can come in and start working on it. I can download it. So maybe you want to download it and save it onto Google Classroom or your own drives or your own USB stick or whatever works for you. And then you can just download it. So JPEG is generally an image format that has got a small file size. So, it doesn't take up a lot of space. PDF is much higher quality and good if you're sending it to an external printer or something, if you were to do something like that. And PNG is just another image quality. So I'm going to press start downloading. It'll just download my work. I can also share it, so I can publish it straight to social media. So if if this is a flyer for Twitter or something, you can put it there. But for us, most importantly, you can push it into Classroom. So if I press publish to Classroom, then it'll post my work straight into Google Classroom. None of this downloading, saving, uploading, etc. Just pushes it straight in. So that's Adobe Spark Post. It's a really, really useful tool. It's free and it's really straightforward for children to use after you've had sort of a 10-15 minute play. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the start of Adobe Spark, and I'm now going to, I've created a post, and now I'm going to create a video. So I'm just going to go create a project, video. So just give your project sort of a title. So maybe it's going to be a lockdown diary for me. It's also really good if you want to narrate a story or a poem or something like that. So in fact, let's do a story. Probably would recommend a better title than the story, but for now, the story will work. So these are all just templates. Okay, so if this is this is like a persuasive idea, promote an idea, try and make your audience do something. This is kind of like a recount type stuff. Tell someone that's happened, positively or negatively. These are meant to be sort of motivational, inspirational. Look how someone overcame a challenge, and look what they've achieved as a result. And then I'm not going to go through all of them because there's quite a few of them. But there's also start from scratch, so you can just exactly do that. Start from scratch. So I'm going to do that really. The templates are really good because they have got like the soundtracks ready to go, and you just sort of drop your bits in that you want to do, make it personal to your purpose. So it's just producing at the moment. So again, like in Adobe Spark Post, this is cloud-based, so it's just there. It saves it. Before I get on to how to do it, I'll go through some of the admin type bits. So these are the bits I always forget. So you can preview it. So once you've made your video, you can watch it back. You can share again, so you can publish it to Classroom, Twitter, social media, etc. Invite, so you can allow people to view it or to edit it. You can download it. Oh, I probably don't want to press that until I've done something. So you can download it and then save it or email it or whatever. You can add people. You can record sound here, so I'll come on to that in just a second. And they're the basic admin bits of Adobe Spark. So first thing first, on the right-hand side, you've got different layouts. So full screen is exactly what it sounds like. It's a full screen. A split screen is that way you have one thing on one side. A caption could be just a picture and some text, or you can have title and a text. So I'm just going to start with title and text. So I'm going to press plus here, and I'm going to say, oh, this is where it helps if you've thought of a context before you go into it. Say, the last day of the rest of my life. Is that right? No. So I could press delete, or I could just change it. I'm just going to call it the next day. And then I'm just going to put my name in here by an award-winning author. Oh, there you go. So that could be the title. If you press plus up here, you could just add a background. So I'm going to go to find free photos, exactly the same as in Spark, and I'm going to go, I don't know, maybe I can do a horror story. So just mysterious. There you are. There's my background. Perfect. Like it. So the credits slide by default, you can put your credits in here. So I'm going to say, standard. Thanks to my mum for inspiring me to write this novel, which is great. A call to action. For those of you who don't know, it's a marketing term. And it's kind of what the follow-up action is. So you can put one of those in if you want, but for the sake of this, it's not overly important. But I'm going to add another part to my video. It's a bit like a presentation type video. So I'm now going to put in here the next part of my story. So I'm going to go split screen here, and I'm going to kind of go for that picture text. So I'm just going to go photo. And maybe we'll start with a nice happiness to my story. We'll have a nice family. Oh, that's nice. So there we are. So, and then I could do, there's a few things I could do here. I could write my story. So I could say, what should I say? The Jones family was a normal, perfectly formed and functional. They were like you and I. Okay, so that's perhaps my first sentence to my story. I'm not really too sure about that, so you notice I've just highlighted it. I'm just going to change the font size a bit smaller because I'm not really too sure about that. And then I can go to theme, and that will just change the theme to all of this. If you wanted to, so these are just themes, and the color palette underneath just changes the color. I should probably go for something sort of, there we go, maybe something slightly more scary. So resize if you want to make it square or widescreen. And likewise, before I can change the font size smaller, bigger, or delete. But what I can also do, and this is possibly what makes it slightly more useful, is I can record. So I just press this button, hold it down and speak. So something like this. The Jones family was a normal, perfectly formed and functional family. They were like you and I. And then when you press play, it will just play that. If you don't like that, then you can just press it again and you can record over the top. It'll also tell you it's 8 seconds. You can remove that if you want to. You can record up to 30 seconds, by the way. So you might have lots of these pages, and that's absolutely fine. So I'm going to go on to another one. I'm going to split screen again. I'm going to try and be a bit sort of quirky here, and I'm just going to change what side it is. So maybe this little family that I'm making up as I go along. I just had a child drop. Maybe, I don't know, here's a new child that's joined the family or something like that. So we can say something like text. You could say, but one day everything changed. I realise I've sort of jumped from the beginning of the story to sort of halfway through the story now, but you kind of get the idea. But one day everything changed. The small, caring and loving family had to accept that things were going to change. Something like that. I don't really know, to be honest. And then again, I can narrate my story there. So I can say, but one day everything changed. The small, caring and loving family had to accept that things were going to change. It's a bit repetitive, isn't it? But in terms of Adobe Spark, you kind of get the idea. So that's how that goes on. So this is my story. I'm going to put some atmospheric music in the background. I hope you can hear this when I press play. If you can't, I'm just clicking on these different sounds, and I'm just listening to them. So I don't really think I want relaxed. Horror movie, this might work perfectly. So apologies if you can't hear that. It was just horror movie type music. So I can turn that on or off. So I'm going to turn the music on, and then was it horror movie? So now I'm just going to play my video. Oh, okay. I'm not sure why it's still playing that music. Let's just press refresh. That wasn't music. I don't know if you could hear the music on the recording actually, but that wasn't the music that I wanted. So let's give that another go. So you can choose the music, and the point I was going to make here is you can just you can resize, change the volume. So if you're doing a voiceover for your story, but you also want some background music, entirely possible. You probably want the background music low so you can still hear the child's or your voice. So this is my Adobe Spark, very, very short story. So just to recap, plus adds a new slide into your video. Theme changes the colors. Layout changes what the layout is. Do you want it just as a full screen? Do you want it as a split screen? Is it just going to be a caption to a picture? Is it going to be title and text? Split screen is the one I tend to go for, to be honest with you. Actually, I don't want this anymore, so I'm going to press those three dots, and I can just press delete, or I can duplicate it. So if actually you're going to be consistent, and this is going to be your page, and this is what you want every page to look like, you can just duplicate that. So you've got a template. You can also swap. So you can just swap them over if you always want the picture on the left-hand side, for example. So that's my Adobe Spark video. I think it does have some limitations, but it's simple, and I think you're not necessarily going to have all the options of everything you might like in your video. But if you want a quick, simple video that children can use, we use it with our year threes all the time. They can make some really quite good stuff, just because it's simple. Picture, annotate text, go, and then just lots of those slides. So that's my video. As you can tell, it's an absolute masterpiece. So I'm just going to download it here, and it'll just sort of, what it does is it compresses it and it just puts it all together. So we'll just let it do this. It also gives you some really random stuff to try and distract you whilst it compresses them. And so anyway, I'm not going to do that because you can't get the idea. They'll not just download the file to my computer. But what I might do actually is I might show it to Classroom. So my teacher or whoever can see that. So you can give it a title, a subtitle, an author. If you don't want that to be hidden, it might be, you don't want children's names to be visible, you can just turn that off. Create that link. And then it'll just create a link to your video so people can go and watch it, and it creates a website as well. So that's Adobe Spark video. So feel free to go and have a play with that. I'm sure you've got lots of ideas of how that could be used. So we're just going to go back to Adobe Spark now. And I'm going to show you how to make a website, or some parts of a website. So again, I just go create a project. Sorry, if that was too quick, I just went to spark.adobe.com in the address bar at the top, in case you missed that. So I'm going to create a project. I'm going to go to web page. And then it literally gives you a template. So where it says add a title, I can add a title. So I'm just going to say my Adobe Spark training portfolio. I mean, I realize portfolio is probably a stretch of the use of the word, but do you know what? For the sake of this, it sort of works. I'm just going to put my name there, and then I'm just going to press plus. And I can add on this sort of part of my website, or this section, I can just add in a photo. So I'm going to find free photo. I'm just going to find a picture of a random bloke. Right, okay, I'm going to choose this guy here. So I mean, that could be me. That's not me, for anyone that's wondering, but it's just the first picture I found. So that could be that. And then I'm going to go to my next section, and I can do a few things here. I can add a photo, text, button, video, photo grid, slideshow, or a split layout. I'm going to do a split layout, and I'm just going to add my image here. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to, I can either upload a photo. So it might be actually I want to upload a photo from before, i.e. my work. In fact, that's a really good idea. Let's do that. So I'm just going to go back into Adobe Spark. I'm going to add my barbecue invite. So to do that, I'm just going to go to my barbecue invite. I'm going to download this as a JPG, and then I'm going to insert it into our website. So it's quite a nice way of sort of collation as much as anything. So I'm going to go download, JPEG, start download. There you go, it's downloaded it. Then in here, I'm going to go add your image, upload photo. There you go. And there's my picture. And here, what I could do is I could just do an explanation. I could do a reflection. So, oh, there we are, that's fine. And I'm just going to say here, we were asked to produce an invite for an event. having reflected on my work, I am proud of the use of colour, and I am also proud of the proud of the consistency of the colours and text. In order to develop my work further, I would like to use more of my own ideas and just use a template to give me a starting format or something like that. Okay, so a child could just put in some reflection there, and that'd be quite nice to be able to show the work and the reflection. And then I can also just put some more text in here, and I can just be like, my reflection, and then I'm going to make that nice and big. I'm going to bold it. I'm going to make it bold. Oh, wait, let me. How annoying. You can also press speech marks, and it does it as separately because it's a quote. Anyway, I'll just have it as bold like that. Fine. Okay. That's one bit of my work. So now I'm just going to press plus. This is another section. And in this section, I'm going to put in my video. So when you're in Spark Video, I probably should have done that. Let's just get the link. So here's my story. So I'm just going to get the link and embed that on my website. So bear with me, just give this a second. So share, publish, create link, and then this will give me a link that I'm then going to copy and paste into here, and it will just embed it into my website. So whilst it's doing that, we'll come back to that, but I'll do my reflection or some writing about it and say, for this task, we used our English planning skills to plan out a story that had a clear introduction, build up, dilemma, resolution, and a moral. Okay, so children could just kind of explain what you've done, and they could kind of relate this to, you know, in English we did this, or in topic we learned about this, and then perhaps this is the story that combines it all, so that there's some sort of context to it. Here we go. So we've published my award-winning video, so I can just copy this link. I could also email it, pull it into Classroom. So that's generally how we do it. In terms of safeguarding, the Facebook and Twitter won't work if your filtering still kicks in. So your filtering at school will probably stop children, or hopefully stop children getting on Facebook and Twitter. So even if they press that, it won't load because the website will be blocked. So now I've got that link. I'm just going to go to video. There you go. There's my video. And this is my website. So like lots of Adobe tools, there's an undo button at the top. There's a redo. So if you undo them, actually want to go back. There are settings here, so you can show a header and footer if you need to, but it's unlikely on the website. So I can preview it. So preview it does exactly what it says on the tin. It previews it. So here's my website. Really nice and straightforward. But you know, if you imagine over time, if this could be a topic, you know, all about the Blue Abyss portfolio of all your topic learning, you could put your websites in, you put videos in, you can link to Google Documents as well. So this could be like a collation tool. So let's get rid of that one. Finish with my video. Let's go back. I can present it full screen if I wanted to. So I'll just close that. And then, as always, I can publish and share the link. So that gives me a link that I could email to my teacher. I could email to I don't know, whoever, or I could copy and paste and put that into Classroom. And if you want to change the themes, you can do. So that's quite nice, isn't it? I really like that one. But you could go for lots of different varieties. But yeah, Whimsy is my go-to one generally. And that's that. And it's obviously in the cloud. So, you know, if I want to come back to it next week and add to it, that's absolutely fine. It's just all there. So that's kind of an overview of Spark Post page and video. So, you know, go and have a play. Just one thing I'm going to direct you to as well for further support is on YouTube, the education evangelist for Adobe UK, i.e. someone that works for Adobe, that's job is to promote the use of the tool in education. Dom Trainer has put some really good videos together. I'll just pick one. So if you want to do a party invite, There's a 12-minute video on how to do this. And I think what's really good about these videos is that they are only 12 minutes. So actually, if part of your staff find this difficult or need support, there's almost like a lesson ready to go here. Watch the video and repeat. So I'll just play. Apologies if you can't hear the sound. Actually, let's just jump. You don't hear the introductory music. So it's very similar to what I've just done.
Cool. Now, first things it's done.
And then he just goes through and gives you instructions on how to do it all. And then, that's that. And you can see that took 12 minutes. So it's definitely feasible for a child to do that in a lesson. So that's just, if you search for DigiDom on YouTube, you'll be able to see loads of them. I use that absolutely done tons. Let's have a look how many there are. Yes. Loads and loads. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, so 24, 26 videos, and there's always like one new going on every week. So that will increase over time. Hopefully that gives you an overview of Adobe Spark. Please do get in touch if there's anything that didn't make sense. Look forward to seeing how you get on.